More Australians are buckling up in the race to go electric. We've been driving in the slow lane, and the industry says there's a way to speed up.
If Australia doesn't get the fuel efficiency standard quite right, that we'll just continue to sort of dwell at the bottom of the pile again. We really need to push forward.
To push forward means penalising manufacturers of polluting cars.
When the Transport Minister said that it had to be in line with Australia's unique position, that's a little bit of a concern for us, particularly given almost 70% of Australians live in a capital city.
14% of all global car sales are electric vehicles. In Australia, just 3.8% of all new vehicles sold are EVs. Proponents of EVs have welcomed the new federal government's plans to legislate fuel efficiency standards by the end of the year.
But making sure that we're setting our fuel efficiency standard, which is in line with other countries, will be really important.
The toughest fuel efficiency standards are in Europe, followed by the US and New Zealand. The world's biggest market, China, comes in ninth.
Australia has become a dumping ground for lots of the dirtier cars that are being produced in the world.
That's because Australia joins Russia as one of only a few developed nations without fuel efficiency standards. And that's why the Federal Department of Transport says in the EU there are more than 200 models available compared to only 60 in Australia. China is the biggest market for electric vehicles, followed by Europe. University of Queensland academic John Quiggin says another glaring issue is Australia's appalling lack of EV charging stations.
We've got a couple right behind me in the shot, but that's I think the only ones in a campus where 20 or 30,000 people come. Although the situation's improved, there's still only a limited number of charging stations on major highways, so if one of them breaks down, you can have significant interruptions to a trip.
The car lobby argues Australians also want affordable vehicles.
If the price of the new technology is too high, we will not have the adoption. So any CO2 target in the world doesn't work if people cannot afford to purchase the products. I think we should leave it to the experts, which are the motor vehicle brands around the world.
In 2022, Chinese car maker BYD overtook Tesla in sales. As competition heats up, Tesla's cutting the price of its models. Volvo's Polestar says more EVs in the Australian market will bring prices down.
What we also really need to consider is our second-hand market. It's imperative that governments shift their fleets over to electric vehicles to help ensure that in a couple of years' time we've got a really solid used car market of electric vehicles to help more low-income earners get into electric vehicles at a more reasonable price.
Driving into the future.